chose 100 miles just because I didn't know if I could do it.
My initial thought was, you're crazy. My second thought was, that's amazing.
He's just always been that person. He's not like, oh, I think I'll try a half marathon because I'm picking up running. Of course he's gonna go to the extreme.
When I had signed up for it, I didn't know shit about ultras. I didn't know anything about running 100 miles at all. I hadn't even run a marathon. Furthest I'd run was a half marathon.
I wasn't surprised, but I was also like, you're an insane person.
We actually met on a camping trip. So one of our mutual friends has a piece of land up in Spruce Pine, North Carolina, which is kind of north of Asheville. That was when we met, and since then we just stayed in contact. Would text each other here and there, but really weren't like super close. But I think because we both had that same mindset of like, I love doing hard things, I love testing the body. It doesn't even matter that you're not super tight, you just know that you're like connected on that level. And I'm not gonna speak for Chase, but for me, it's really just the mindset of trying to evolve.
When we were talking about it and understanding his reasoning as to why, I think it was really impactful. And I think, I had a discussion about it. He was talking about pacers, and when he asked me, hey, would you want to be a pacer for me? I was super honored, super humbled. This is a massive life accomplishment for him, and having the opportunity to share roughly 20 miles of the course with him, throughout the day was really cool, and a really impactful day for me.
Never considered myself a runner. Never thought I had a natural talent for it at all. I still don't really think I have a natural talent for it. I just think I'll work harder than everybody else.
Chase is not one to just set a goal and be like, well, I hit it, that's great. I'm gonna just like go back to doing what I do. So sometimes it actually makes me nervous because I'm like, the limit does not exist.
I'm gonna be a nervous wreck at 2:30 in the morning, so. Alright. Just wanna make sure I know where everything's at.
It was a 6-hour drive out to the Outer Banks, and I was just excited, right? Like it had all kind of come to this moment where we were all there.
It was so funny, we're all excited for him, we're all fired up, and we're all fired up. We're like, all right, we gotta go to this pre-race meeting. So we all hop in his car, we hop in the Bronco, and we're headed, whatever it is, an hour away from our Airbnb.
This race is a point-to-point race, right? You start 100 miles from the finish line, you run 100 miles, you get to the finish line. And we were staying kind of like right in the middle.
When we get there, there's an empty parking lot.
So we drove up there and realized that that was not the location for the pre-race meeting.
Like, hang on, let's check the address, like what's going on? We look, wrong address.
The pre-race meeting was actually 8 minutes from where we were staying. So we had driven an hour for no reason. We got to scope out the first, 40 miles of the course. If you want to look at it in a positive way.
I assumed the race check-in was gonna be at the start of the race and didn't even look at the address. Ended up being the Airbnb was like 8 minutes away. We ended up driving an hour there to realize we had to go back another hour to get there. So I do shit like that sometimes.
We head back, and we end up getting to the right place at the right time, and that kind of set the tone for the night before. I think that, that kind of, honestly, in a way, like relaxed everybody.
And in that moment, I noticed Chase really didn't stress from it. He wasn't freaking out. I think if I was in this situation, I'd be like, dude, I'm supposed to go to sleep in an hour, and here we are an hour from home, haven't eaten dinner yet.
You can't change what's already been done. You have two options. You can either, get upset and get frustrated and keep reminiscing on it, or you can move forward and just continue on and go on to the next thing.
It was cool to see him just kind of, roll with the punches and not really take it too seriously, and not let it affect him either. He was still dialed, he was still super amped for the next day.
What is me and my morale being shit gonna do for everybody else? It's gonna drop everybody to the same level. And I'm like, well, there's no point in doing that.
So after that, we went back, got some dinner, and went to sleep.
Fast forward to the day of, You know, I wake up, Chris wakes up, you know, we meet in the kitchen and no one else is there.
I got up at 2:30, couldn't sleep really. And when I got up, I was just ready to go. Had the conversation with my mom, which really was cool, just kind of before everything went crazy. We got a little bit of quiet time to just talk.
I feel great. I just feel a little tight, but to be expected. There's those pre-race jitters coming out.
Then from there, everything just started going fast.
What am I, 359? I don't know about that number, but we gonna make it work. 359, baby. I think it's bright.
It was really nice to have Phil there and my other buddy Robert there as well. They were both running the race too, so not to have to, you know, toe the line and get up there by myself was kind of cool. I had some of my homies there. I mean, Robert's one of my really good buddies. So that meant a lot to me to be able to get up there with him and start the race with him.
All right, 2 minutes to start. Everyone behind the line, signs, come back past the park. 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So the race kicks off and it's pitch black, which was pretty cool because I have very little experience running in the dark. And we get going and some people were just taking off. And I'm like, these motherfuckers must be relay or something because there's no way they're running this pace for 100 miles. I was just setting in my pace. I started just knocking out 9-minute miles, just kind of in my own zone. I didn't get into my own head too much. Some people would try to talk to me here and there as we're running and I'm like, I'm friendly, but then I shut it down because I'm just in my zone, right? So we make it to the first aid station and I'm feeling great. I'm like, I don't need anything. I'm not gonna slow down, keep going right through. And pretty shortly after that is when I had my first stomach issue. And that was early on in the day. I need Vaseline. PR lotion. PR lotion. Oh, sorry. This is going down under.
Over here. I should change that down.
Number 2 guy said his family was dying.
Oh yeah?
And he is good because I'm not. He is 1250 ahead.
I have a trash bag in the car.
What about the girl? I keep seeing her. I feel like I'm pulling her.
She just left. She's got an orange shirt on.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Me and Zach stayed back at the Airbnb and just kind of slept in, you know, took it easy that morning because we knew our time wasn't coming for, you know, 12 hours after or so. Kind of just hung out, drank coffee on the couch and just watched Chase on the tracker. And I remember me and Zach talking about his pace and being like, dude, he's, you know, ripping off like 9-minute miles for the first 30 miles or so.
The first 30 miles were a breeze. I mean, that's how it should be for an ultra. I was cruising. Around 35, 36, I changed shoes, put my headphones on, and that gave me like crazy boost of energy.
And we were just kind of wondering if he was going out too hot, right? Like we didn't know that if he was or wasn't, didn't know if it was gonna catch up to him later on in the race, because over 100 miles, anything can happen, right? Like it's such a long distance. You can go through really low lows, you can go through really high highs. So we were just kind of just wondering, right, if his pace was too fast or not.
And we fuel up, we get our breakfast, we get some water in, we make a coffee, then we head out to the street.
I remember our Airbnb was actually right on the race course, so I think it was around mile 35 or so. So me and Zach actually got to walk out and cheer him on, give him a high five, and just tell him good job and to keep going.
He comes by, we high five him, super good spirits, like high spirits, feeling great. Was cruising along. I think he was in second place or third place at that time.
I was like, started getting down to 8:30s and 8:45s, and I had to pump the brakes a little bit because I saw you guys and I was just like fired up when I passed you guys.
And that's when I was like, all right, I'm about an hour out from joining him, about an hour and a half out from joining him. So I went back to the house, I changed, I got all my nutrition ready and hydration and all that stuff, and hopped in the car and we drove for probably about 40 minutes, met him at mile 56.
From about 40 to 45 is when I felt the first dark hole kind of. It's when things got tough, And it's weird on these ultra races because you have so much time, so many miles. There's little pockets where things go really well and there's little pockets where things go really badly. And this was my first pocket where things were not going well. How far out to the next station?
Just 3 miles, we'll be there. Anything you think you might need, we'll have it ready. PR lotion, got it.
125. We're waiting on Chase at mile 56. What's he holding, like a 9-minute, 9:30 pace? 9:30. Something like that. Stomach's a little tore up. We got him some stuff and we're ready to go. I'll be with him for the next 20. Chris will be with him for the next 25. He's crushing it. He's in second place right now. He's got about a 12-minute buffer between him and the guy in third, and try to keep it rolling. Every 5 minutes, we're gonna give him some sort of liquid. I don't know.
Take a sip.
I think they gave him some Imodium or something.
Keep that hydration going.
Yeah, man, we're ready. We're ready.
Mile 75. He's going to be like, what?
He's going to lose it.
He is going to lose it. And he's going to retain and he's going to be motivated.
So my thought process with surprising him was like, it would be the biggest grand entrance if I was at the end. In my head though, the end that I envisioned as opposed to what the end was like this way bigger thing. So when I think 100 miles, I think that's like a massive feat. So I was, I don't know, I was expecting like massive tents everywhere, like a big party, a DJ. So I'm glad I didn't wait to do it at the end because as the footage shows, like it was pretty like isolated and dark. My mom was texting me and everyone was kind of like, I think we should maybe not have you wait. So we decided at 75 when Zach kind of popped out and Chris came in, I was gonna surprise him then.
He's got his headphones on, so I can't really talk to him. I don't have headphones, so I'll be singing to myself, singing some campfire songs. I think a good strategy would be to get in front of him and block the wind and like let him draft off me. Keep spirits high, Get him to that finish line, baby. 25. All right, 75 miles, 25 to go, baby. I'm ready.
I knew you were coming.
No, you didn't.
I had a feeling.
No, you didn't.
Well, I thought it'd be way before now.
I've been here the last two.
You're the man. Thank you.
I'm gonna wait till the last.
Bring it home. Bring it home.
Great job, you too.
Nice to meet you. Sweaty hard.
That's okay.
I love it.
Chris, you ready, baby?
Let's go, babes.
Rice
This is it.
Banana.
Remember what the guy says? This is when the race starts.
Almost at $1.
Love you.
We love you.
Chris is just this 6'4" like beast, and I just tuck in behind Chris, and at this point, sand's coming, wind's coming, and I just don't feel any of it because I'm right behind him, tucked in his back pocket, and just cruising. I'm staring at his feet. I'm in really a lot of pain when I'm running, but I'm just focusing on the bottom of his feet and being like, let's just go. 1 more mile, we'll see where we're at. 1 more mile, we'll see where we're at.
We got to, I don't know, maybe 5 miles down the road, and he started talking about his knee really hurting. He had headphones on the whole time, so me and him weren't talking, and I didn't have headphones. I had nothing. It was pretty quiet, but I remember just hearing him whispering.
I was just talking to myself and telling myself that I could do it because I was in a dark place mentally, and I was combating that. And I was just telling myself, man, your knee is so strong, your body is so strong.
He was whispering to himself, your knee doesn't hurt. You're not in pain. Like, he was giving himself subtle little like amp ups, right? And it was so awesome to see how he was bigger than that, right? Like, he didn't give into that at all. Not to mention, didn't give into it, he excelled, right? Like, we were holding 9-minute pace at mile 90. At mile 95, he even was like, bro, let's get this pace like going quicker. We were holding like 8:15s at mile 95 of a 100-mile race. Like, just insane to see how crazy his mind was able to like overcome whatever came at him that day. And that was like the biggest motivator for me, being, out in front of him, was like, bro, he is in the absolute hurt locker right now, and nothing's, like, he's bulletproof, nothing's getting at him.
My dad told me once when I was younger, he was like, you have greatness in you. And this is just something that I kept saying to myself. So you have greatness in you. Your knee is so strong, your body is so strong, and just kept saying that. And I said that for probably 3 hours straight, just whispering to myself in the wind. We start pushing it, and I'm actually realizing the faster I go, the less pain I have in my knee. So I'm like, let's crank it up, let's go. And we start pushing like 8-minute miles towards the end. And I just remember being so exhausted, but also just like still full of adrenaline, I guess. I had more adrenaline coming through me at the end because I'm like, I could see the miles tick down. I'm like, 6 miles left, 5 miles left.
The last mile, we like turned off the highway, and it was just like a you know, a regular road getting to the finish line. Dude, that last mile had to be, it was fake. It was like 3 miles. It felt like 3 miles.
And I'm just pushing, I'm like, I haven't walked all day, I'm not gonna walk now. Start to get to the end, don't know exactly where it is, seeing signs, but we're like looking through the darkness trying to find it. And then we see the arch and there's like a trailer or something. And I'm like, motherfucker, we did it.
Nice job.
That is what we like to do.
Think you're in that today?
Yes, sir, brother.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Second place. Whew, I got something else for you. Give me a second.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, where's the bathroom? Oh my. So glad you're here.
Awesome. Third fastest time on the course in history. Awesome. There you go.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Oh my God, Chase! Holy shit! Oh, third fastest time in history. His first ever. Oh my God!
I've never cried at a race or you know, broken down emotionally, but that's about as emotional as I probably will ever be crossing that finish line.
There's so many things I learned from that 25 miles spent with Chase, but I think the biggest thing is just how your mindset can really take control of whatever you're trying to do, right? Like I said, Chase was hurting, his knee was in pain, he had been having stomach issues. I'm sure his legs were trashed and his mindset was just bulletproof.
It's just such a special moment for me because I have these people that are all part of my life in tremendously different ways, but all coming together to support me on this, you know, insane day. And they all brought me all the way here. Like, yeah, running's an individual sport, but there were so many people that contributed to me getting across this finish line.